welcome to my channel, your CSIR Net Buddy. So today we are going to study about endocrinology. Endocrinology is a study of hormones which are ductless. That is, their secretion is not sent by ducts, it is without ducts. So it can be transmitted or basically sent to a long distance than those which are exocrine, which are produced through ducts. So the first hormone we are studying about today is the pituitary gland. Basically, pituitary gland has a structure which has lobes like posterior lobe, intermediate lobe and anterior lobe, which has supraoptic and paraventricular cells. Supraoptic and paraventricular cells in posterior lobe. In intermediate lobe, it has melanin, that is from the melanocyte cells, which produce or basically are helpful for the secretion of melanin, which is a pigment hormone. And then anterior lobe consists of the major part of the endocrinology because it has the vast secretion. Basically, it can be further divided into corticotrope, somatotrope, thiotrope, lectotrope and gonadotrope. These are the, you can say, like hypothalamus will give signal to these lobes and the pituitary lobe will start secreting hormones. Like corticotropin is, you will going to produce alpha, gamma, beta. Corticotrope, which also secretes CLIP and endorphin hormone by the corticotrope. This question has asked before also what the corticotrope all secretes. So the diagram was given and you have to mark that what has to be there in that question mark. So these 5 components are being secreted from the corticotropin lobe. And then we have somatotrope. Somatotrope secretes growth hormone. It secretes both growth inhibitory and growth excitatory hormone. Thyrotrope secrete thyroxine, like it will produce thyroid hormone. Lectotrope will produce lectotropin inhibitory hormone. So it will inhibit the secretion of lactose. And gonadotrope will produce LH, it is luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormones. So these all hormones are produced by the pituitary. It can be either the posterior lobe, intermediate lobe or anterior lobe. The anterior lobe is also known as pars distillatus, and this one is known as pars nervosa. Now we are going to study each component in detail. Now the first one is corticotrope, which is from the pars distillatus lobe, that is intermediate lobe. So it can be subdivided into propionmelanocortin, that is POMC. This same question has been asked in CSIR 2 to 3 years before, I guess. So this is melanin stimulatory hormone, which is gamma melanin stimulatory hormone, and then alpha melanin stimulatory hormone and CLIP, and beta melanin stimulatory hormone and beta endorphin. So these all are produced. and it has to be just make it clear that the only hormone which is inhibitory and produced by anterior lobe is prolactin inhibitory hormone, and rest all are stimulatory hormones. And the second one I want to discuss is like the HCG hormone, that is the human chorionic gonadotropin hormone, TSH, LH, FSH and HCG. These all are protein derivatives having alpha and beta chain. So these all are alpha and beta chain protein derivatives. Now the next one we are going to discuss is growth hormone. Growth hormone is all about the hormone which helps in our growth, which makes our body long, like we are tall. So this is being characterized by the working of growth hormone. If the growth hormone is working properly, so we are normal. But if it isn't working, like the condition is like hypo, that is less, or hyper condition, that is excess. So the hypo condition can cause dwarfism, like the people who are very small in height are dwarf people, that is very small in height are dwarfist, and very high or very large people like Khali we can say, so they are gigantinous. Sometimes in males it also causes acromegaly. In this the person is normal, you can't say, but the face expressions, the face, all face cuts and all, it has a high ratio from face to body. So he has a big face in this acromegaly condition. So just I am making you understand, and please just note the points. Please don't leave the video in between, so you can able to understand all the concepts which I will discuss. And after one video I will make you more videos on the hormones, so that all hormones can be considered and included, so you can have a better preparation about it. So growth hormone is present on chromosome number 17. It is 191 amino acid long. Basically it will break down the carbohydrates, so it is hyperglycemic. Hyper means the breakdown, hyper means the more concentration of glucose, so it is breaking down the glucose concentration, so it is hyperglycemic. Sometimes the glucose level is low, so it also breaks down the lipids, so it hyperlipidemic. That is after when the condition comes like the whole glucose has been used, so at that time lipid will also be consumed. So it causes insulin resistance in the body, because what insulins do is like insulin don't want glucose to be used, but the growth hormone wants glucose to be used, so they both work oppositely. That is, it's cause insulin resistance. A new molecule has been developed which it will be doing, like it stimulates the liver, it works like a drug, or you can say a peptide molecule, which is somatomedian C. Somatomedian C is like growth role of the hormone is insulin dependent. This is also like insulin, but isn't insulin, because insulin don't want glucose to be consumed, but somatomedian C wants glucose to be consumed. So somatomedian is also like insulin dependent protein. And next, what is this? I discuss about the diseases which can be occurring due to this. So this is only important, and I will also discuss about that LH, FSH from the next video. I will make it another video on this topic. So my main focus of this video is like to make you understand about the lobes, what are they and what they secrete, and I will make you more clear about it and the other videos, which was those videos, so you can have a better understanding of all the topics. Now what I want is like, now the posterior lobe. The posterior lobe, we just study about the two cells, which was supraoptic and paraventricular cell. These two cells are present in the posterior lobe of the pituitary. What they are going to do is like, they will produce oxytocin and vasopressin. They both will work together to produce oxytocin and vasopressin. Vasopressin is also known as ADH, antidiuretic hormone, and it also known as arginine because it arginine rich. So arginine, vasopressin. Now ADH is a 9 amino acid long, both you can say both oxytocin and vasopressin are 9 amino acid long. ADH is antidiuretic hormone, what I discussed about vasopressin. So it's a 9 amino acid long. It also, that you have heard about angiotensin, ras angiotensin and aldosterone system, in which angiotensin plays a major role over there. So angiotensin also induced productions is also induced by ADH only, and it helps in water retention. Antidiuretic hormone is like, we have to absorb more water through the aquaporin. So aquaporin will be released on the surface so that more and more water from the waste, basically the intestinal waste, which is water, is going outside the body. So more and more water has to be absorbed by the ADH, antidiuretic hormone. So this all is done by angiotensin 2, so that it can induce aldosterone production. And aldosterone what it does is like, it will be absorbing more concentration of salts, and when the salts are absorbed in the body, the water is also absorbed, as you know about the osmolarity principle. So water and salts are absorbed over there. And when the vasopressin is released in the body, like if you are sweating excessively, the blood volume is just decreasing, so this will occur. Now in this condition, when the ADH hormone will be released by the body, because these are enterocyte cells of the intestine, okay. And when the ADH hormone is released by the hypothalamus, will induce the signals to the pituitary lobe, so that it will produce ADH. So ADH will bound to the ADH receptor on the enterocyte cell surface, because it's a peptide hormone, so it can't be intracellular. It has to be the transmembrane receptor only, and it will guide, like here the aquaporin 3 is present already, but it will signal, like it will be signaling the aquaporin vesicle so that it can bind, and aquaporin 2 can be released on the surface, on the, you can say, intestinal lumen side. The aquaporin 2 will come, and more water will be absorbed from the waste to the inside body. This is the bodial surface, and this is the, you can see, the path which is going towards for excreta. So this can be done all through the antidiuretic hormone. Nowadays a drug has been working same as the ADH also, that is desmopressin. Desmopressin is like, a person having the ADH deficiency can be given desmopressin so that he can absorb more water. If it's not working properly, so it can cause diabetes insipidus. Matlab, the diabetes insipidus will be caused if you have ADH deficiency. That is, water will not be absorbed in the body, and the whole amount of water will be going out the body. So what it will be doing, like when the excess of water is going out or removing out from your body, the intracellular salts will also remove from the body. So it will cause a stress. A shell will, and the cells are present in the body will shrink because all the components are being removed from them. Now oxytocin is a mammary, plays an important role on mammary gland, that is milk ejection hormone, and uterine smooth muscle, which help in the post delivery. When the child is delivered, so it will push the child so that it can move from the uterus to the out of the body. So it also stimulates, the oxytocin stimulates uterine smooth muscle and also ejection of the milk. Now intermediate lobe, we also discuss about intermediate lobe. I told you about the melanin. So melanin produced by melanocytes stimulatory hormone. Melanin stimulatory hormone produce melanocytes. Melanocytes is a tyrosine derivative. So it is like, you should remember this, that melanocytes in the presence of tyrosinase will produce tyrosine, which will induce melanin secretion. You have seen people like who are all the body is white, their hairs are white, their eyebrows are white, they are whole white, just because of the secretion of melanin is absent in them. They are known as albinos due to they have problem which is albinism. Albinism is deficiency of melanin, that is they are unable to produce melanin hormone. And African peoples or Indians, we all have extra secretion of melanin. That's why our body is brownish in color. And the second hormone is pineal gland. Pineal gland is also known as a gland which is controlling the stimulatory, basically you can say circadian cycle. Circadian cycle is the cycle of our sleep. Like in the morning we woke up and in the night we sleep. So these all activities, our brain works like it has to be wake up. No, it's all over the world. It's not like, oh, we won't want to, but it says the students are told to wake up early in the morning because melanin hormone, like it says melatonin. This will produce melatonin by suprachiasmatic nuclei. So in the day when there is a sunlight, it will be signaling to the ganglionic cell to secrete suprachiasmatic nuclei, which will stimulate the pineal gland so that it will be active and produce melanin. Like consider a condition, it will be more easier for you to make it easier. Like in the day when there is sunlight, the pineal is inactive, but in the night the pineal gland is active. So when it is active, it will produce melatonin, which is a sleep inducer. I know children want to sleep all the day, but no, if you consider your body, because it's the repair time for the body to repair our cells and to remove worn out cells from, you can say, 11 p.m. to the 5 or 4 a.m. in the morning. So melatonin works at that time and the body feels, or basically you relieves yourself. Day sleeping won't make you or gain something, it is just waste of time. You should utilize the time and study at that time, and you should sleep. But students are opposite. I am also a student, but we all are the same. But I sleep in the night and study all the day by waking up early in the morning. You should also do the same. It's the tryptophan derivative. It's the only hormone which is tryptophan derivative. Rest are protein, some are, like I told you about this one, so it was tyrosine derivative. And when there is growth, like sleeping is the maximum at 11 to 12, you can say 12 to 1 in the night. So sleeping hormone will decrease with the time and your growth hormone will increase. So that's why we say like sleep earlier, so that growth hormone plays a major role at that time. If you sleep at a good time or you have ample of sleep, so it will also enhance your growth. And melatonin is also works as antioxidant properties is also there. So it reduces the reactive oxygen species or nitrogen species which are harmful for your body, are also removed by the pineal gland. But as inhibitory functions on the your reproductive functions. And with age, like you sometimes you hear about from your grandparents, like they don't sleep much more, they are having small sleeps or break sleeps, you can say. So this is because of melatonin, because age concentration of the melatonin with age also decreases. So this was all about the hormones, the lobes. Hope so you have liked the video. Do study, और अगर आपको ये वीडियो अच्छी लगी so please do subscribe also. Thank you.